Ford action. Let's take in some Chevrolet competition here in Stafford Springs. Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher out of Wadesboro, North Carolina, will meet another Chevy, the Wild Hair. Starvin' Marvin Smith out of Arnold, Missouri. You may remember Marvin is the old driver of the Stafford Chevy. And he pushes Carolina Crusher to the limit, but Gary Porter holds on for the victory. Marvin Smith has not been having a good year on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. He's got to be awfully happy with that run, almost pulling the upset over Gary Porter. But the Carolina Crusher takes the victory. He wins it over Marvin Smith and the Wild Hair Chevrolet, although Wild Hair's got nothing to be disappointed about. We're going to go down to Mike Goss. He's with Gary Porter, who had a much smoother run this time than in the first round. Mike?
A little more under control that time, Gary.
It is. You know, I come off the line a little bit harder, and I tried to turn the motor a little bit harder to try to get some more speed, and I think I jumped a little bit further that time and missed the hole there at the end. And it really messed me up the last run.
All these trucks braking and everything tonight. You're in a pretty good position in this bottom bracket.
I am. I'm pleased, you know, right now with the truck where I'm at, you know, and the way it's running. I just hope I can keep on and take the win tonight.
Mike, I think you really hit on what may be the big factor tonight. What truck can survive? There's so much breakage. Here's a perfect example. This new King Kong already tonight has suffered a broken drive shaft. He's having brake problems. And in the first round win over Buffalo Tremor, he broke the stabilizer bar. All that's adding up to the fact that King Kong is rolling out basically in a lame condition just to pick up some points. This ought to be an easy win for the Clydesdale Chevrolet to go up against Kong. Now, John WASNIEWSKI in the Buffalo Tremor, we're being told, was supposed to run this race. Instead, Kong is allowed to come to the line, obviously unable to race. It's an easy win for the Clydesdale and Bennett Clark, but we're going to go back to the pit and develop the story with John WASNIEWSKI of the Buffalo Tremor. His truck lost to King Kong, but since Kong was broken, supposedly, WASNIEWSKI was going to be allowed to come back. Instead, they decided to let Kong come out, and really, he had no business out there running, except for the fact that he was trying to gain a few points.
John, we watched a very lame King Kong make a run out there. That should have been you, or could have been you.
It could have been me. It was supposed to be. It was already on the bracket sheet. It was all lined up. His truck was totally trashed underneath. I mean, he broke. You could see it the way the run was right there. I mean, this is a sport. You want to put on a good show. You don't run trucks like that that are broken.
Do you feel like that you were unjustly treated in that call, and that it should have been the Buffalo Tremor out there running Clydesdale?
Yeah, I think it should have. I mean, we've set up meetings, and we have rules about this already, and they're not enforcing it. I don't know what to say. I've talked to 10 different people already before that run went, and they said that's the way it's going to stay.
Johnny K's unhappy, but he's out. The semifinals are coming up next. The Auto Value King Crunch is at the starting line. The Equalizer looks like he's there as well, but he's not. He's a few feet off the starting line, so we can't start the race. There you can see a great shot from that camera angle. That Equalizer has not pulled to the starting line. Now, both trucks are shut down. Equalizer should be on the 5-minute clock, but we're not getting an indication. We're trying to listen to radio traffic, but I haven't heard anybody say he's on the clock. The rule by TNT is once one truck pulls to the starting line, the other truck has 5 minutes to get to the starting line, or it becomes a disqualification, a bye run, if you will. That truck is knocked out. Now they're going to pull the Equalizer away from the starting line. Well, what's going on out there? There should be a race coming off, but we're hearing that they're going to make the Auto Value King Crunch back off the starting line as well. Now, this does not seem like, according to the rules, something that should be happening, because there should be a race. Crunch is staged. Someone should have to race at this point. They are backing both trucks away and calling the Carolina Crusher and the Clydesdale to the starting line. Boy, Scott Stevens has never been one to mince words. I got to believe he's not going to like this. Chris Chapman is going over to get a word with him. Chris, let's see what's happening down there.
Scott, what do you think of TNT's decision to go on and take you off the line once you were ready to race Equalizer?
Well, you know, it's stupid. We've done this many times. Once this one truck here I staged, that round had to be done. I mean, if Equalizer couldn't come, Bigfoot had 3 minutes to get to the line. Now, you know, they give everybody plenty of time, and, you know, the only one that's getting the raw deal is us. You know, it's no big deal. You know, we're going to race ever who comes to the line, but, you know, these rules change every week, so that's what we have to live with.
Well, Scott Stevens explained it very well. Once Equalizer ran out of his 5 minutes, which should have happened if he would have been put on the clock because King Crunch was staged, they would have called Bigfoot. Bigfoot would have had to jump right up there, obviously. Now, both trucks are getting a lot of time to work, and Scott Stevens should have had an advantage right there that he's not going to get. One of those trucks, either Equalizer or Bigfoot, will race King Crunch. We just don't know who, because we're about to go to this matchup between the Carolina Crusher and the Clydesdale. The winner of this goes to the Monster Smash Final. Showtime! Man, the Clydesdale really pushed Gary Porter, but Carolina Crusher has earned himself a berth in the Monster Smash Final. Let's watch it again. Gary Porter's Crusher got all he wanted from an old thorn in his side. Some of Bennett Clark's biggest wins in the Clydesdale have come against Carolina Crusher, but this time it was not to be for Bennett Clark. Crusher wins it, and Gary Porter is in the Monster Smash Final. He will be opposed in that championship matchup by either the Auto Value King Crunch or the Bigfoot Ford. That's right, Andy Brass, who lost in the first round, who lost in the quarterfinals, gets to come back in the semifinals because Equalizer chose not to come to the starting line. Let me try to explain this quickly. If Equalizer would have went ahead and pulled to the starting line, he would have gained at least 3 points as a loser. Now he gets none for that round because he pulls away, and Bigfoot, even if he loses, will get 3 more points. And that's all he's going to get. The Auto Value King Crunch, despite the fact that the rules were bent to allow Bigfoot to come to the line, still, Auto Value Crunch wins it, and Scott Stevens has got to be ecstatic. You know how much he wants to beat Bigfoot, and he gets it done right there. Big, big rivalry, and the Auto Value King Crunch makes it 3 straight losses for Bigfoot. But again, because the Equalizer chose not to come to the starting line, Bigfoot actually gains in points on the night, despite the fact that he did not beat a soul here in Stafford Springs, Connecticut this time out. It's a 6-point swing. The 3 points Equalizer could have gotten and didn't, and the 3 points that Bigfoot did. But the winner was Scott Stevens and the Auto Value King Crunch. He's got to be happy. We'll find out how happy. Mike Goss is with him right now. Mike?
You got to feel good about that.
Yeah, you know, after getting pretty well rooked on the starting line, you know, these rules they make up every round, you know, it was going to really be hard for Andy to beat us because we had so much adrenaline built up for sitting there for so long. And our truck's running really good, you know. Auto Value Cobra seats, racing radios. Hey, that wax shop, there isn't much body, but it's slick what we got. You know, hey, we're going.
Did you feel like that was an injustice that you were already on the starting line and you were ready to race and Equalizer couldn't?
Yeah, when it cost us a race in Nashville in '88, one of the trucks, you know, knew we had problems, went to the line. I couldn't make the call, so the guy got a free run. You know, I went to the line. I didn't know he had a problem. You know, we were both really staged, so the race should have happened. But, you know, TNT.
Bigfoot hadn't won a race tonight.
Yeah, Bigfoot ain't won nothing tonight.
Scott Stevens, the outspoken one, but the Auto Value King Crunch has earned his way to the Monster Smash Final. He's got to meet the Carolina Crusher, though. It ought to be a dandy Monster Smash Final, and it's coming up next.